Most athletes don't have a recovery or performance problem. They have a meal building problem. They focus on protein, calories, and eating clean, but they never learn how to build a meal that properly fuels their performance, recovery, digestion, and mental clarity. In this video, I'm going to teach you the exact blueprints I use as an amateur boxer. Before we talk about ingredients, we need to understand that each meal should accomplish 4 things. It should give you energy for your training sessions, speed up your recovery, keep you mentally sharp throughout the day, and digest easily. Most athletes only focus on counting calories or protein, or thinking that because something's healthy, it's good for performance, which isn't true. These are the 5 things each meal should take into consideration, and in this video, I'm going to break down each one. First, every meal should be built around a good source of protein for 2 main reasons. 1, protein helps repair your muscles so you can recover faster, and 2, it helps your body perform by giving you amino acids. Some of the best sources are chicken, tuna, eggs, lean beef, Greek yogurt, and protein shakes. These are good options not only because they're relatively low in fat and light on the stomach, but you can also mix them with many different flavors, allowing you to have variety in your meals. These are also good because you can prepare them in larger amounts so you can put together your meal quicker. Some of my go-to options are the rotisserie chickens at the store, the canned tuna, and cooking a large amount of ground beef or ground pork and using it throughout the week. Protein shakes are also good because you can bring it with you in your gym bag and have it right after your workout. For an athlete, carbs are energy. They are arguably just as important as protein when building a meal. Not only is it important to eat enough carbohydrates, but it's important to get them from quality sources. The best way to do this is to eat single ingredient carb sources, aka not the processed snacks from the store. Yes, the processed snacks will give you energy, but there's also a chance they'll give you brain fog and they won't make your stomach feel good, which isn't something you want, especially before training. It's also important to take fiber into account. If you're within 2 hours of a training session, I would try to look for carb sources that have lower fiber. For example, if you train in the afternoon, the best time to have carbs would be breakfast or maybe lunch. Your main focus before training sessions should be getting carbs from sources that have higher sugar and lower fiber. The next best time to have fiber would be after your training session. So, general rule of thumb, if you're within 2 hours of a training session, try to lower your fiber. For breakfast, I try to get a good amount of carbs from either oatmeal or bread. If I don't have training until the afternoon, I'll have a bowl of oatmeal with peanut butter, honey, and some fruit. This will keep me feeling full throughout the morning so I don't overeat and it'll digest just in time for my training. If I have training late in the morning or around midday, I'll have sourdough bread as it's lower in fiber, digests quicker, and it'll feel me better for a training session right after I eat it. For lunch and dinner, some of my personal favorites are sweet potato, rice, whole wheat pasta, or if you're closer to training, white pasta, and fruit, especially dates, bananas, and any sort of dried fruit like dried mangoes. It's also important to adjust how many carbs you have depending on how heavy your training is. For example, if I'm training twice a day, I'll have upwards of 350 grams of carbs for the whole day. If I'm only training once, I'll have a little bit less, and if it's a rest day, I'll have even less. Carbs are good to fuel performance, but it's important to note that if you eat excessive amounts of carbs without training, your body will convert unused carbs into fat. Most athletes think fat is bad, but it can actually be a really useful tool when considering these 2 things: the source you get it from and when you eat it. Let's talk about timing fats throughout the day. Fats take longer to digest than protein and carbs. So if you're closer to a training session, you want to avoid fat as much as possible. Unlike carbs, which digest quickly, fat digests a lot slower, giving you more steady energy throughout the day. This is why it's best to eat it as far away from a training session as possible or right after a training session. Second is the source of fat. Fat is good for brain and hormone function. If you're having fat earlier in the morning, some of my personal favorites are nuts such as walnuts, which are higher in omega-3s, almonds, sunflower seeds, and if it's closer to lunch, olive oil and avocados are excellent sources. Fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel are also amazing as they're high in omega-3s, which help you recover and help your brain function. Possibly the best source of fat in my opinion would be eggs, as they contain all 9 essential amino acids, vitamin B12, vitamin A, and vitamin D. Eggs also include monounsaturated fat, which is good for heart health, and polyunsaturated fats, which include omega-3s and omega-6s. It's important to include some source of fruits and vegetables in each meal, not just because they're healthy, but they have antioxidants, electrolytes, and micronutrients. It might sound complicated at first, but it really is as simple as adding a handful of fruit to your meals or adding some chopped up spinach and peppers to your rice bowls or pasta bowls. Most athletes miss this step. If you sweat a lot during training, you lose electrolytes, and if you don't replenish them, your performance will go down. The main 3 you should worry about are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. As an athlete, it can be quite beneficial to add even a pinch of salt to your meals, as getting that sodium back helps your muscles function and helps keep your reaction time sharp. My two favorite sources of potassium is bananas and dairy products such as kefir or Greek yogurt or milk. Potassium helps reduce muscle cramps and is essential for every athlete. Finally, magnesium. Some foods high in magnesium are nuts and seeds and whole grains. You should get a decent amount of magnesium if you're eating right already, but what I do to help me recover and sleep better is take a magnesium glycinate supplement right before bed. This helps me replenish the magnesium in my body and helps relax my muscles before bed. I would highly recommend that supplement to every athlete. It's important to note that everyone's gut is different and you're going to need to do a lot of trial and error to figure out what works for you. The two biggest factors you can control as an athlete is what foods you eat and when you eat them. Generally, if you're having a bigger meal close to training, you'll have a harder time digesting and you'll have worse performance. It's important to have a full, well-rounded meal around 3 to 4 hours out from training so your body has time to fully digest it and so you don't feel sluggish. Meals with higher fat content will take longer to digest and will sit heavier in your stomach. Foods higher in fiber will make you feel more bloated and will also slow you down in training. I found the best structure is to have a well-rounded meal 3 to 4 hours away from training, and then about an hour before training have some source of quick carbohydrates that are low in fiber, such as a banana or dried fruit. It's important to note that the best meal isn't necessarily the healthiest meal. It's the healthiest meal your stomach can handle before training. That'll wrap up this video for now. Make sure to comment any questions or any future video ideas down below and let me know what you think about this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to get better as an athlete.